Hi, Katzcradul here. Let's go ahead and finish up the topic of cheese. I did a video about a couple of weeks ago about how to wax cheese because I explained to you that in a situation where the system breaks down, cheese is something I don't plan to do without because I really like it and I think it adds to the quality of our life because it is delicious. So if you want to check out how to wax cheese, go ahead and check out that video. Also, Bear Prepper posted a video today on canning cheese, and it is an excellent tutorial, and you'll want to check that out if you're interested in canning cheese. I don't just store my home wax cheese because I like to have options. So I'm going to share with you a couple of cheeses that I store and may give you some ideas of cheese to store as well. Right here I store grated Parmesan cheese. This is the one in a green can. Now this is Aldi brand, but you probably recognize the green can because it's very similar to the one probably in traditional grocery stores. This is good Parmesan cheese. It's dry grated Parmesan cheese, and it's the kind probably as kids you sprinkled on your spaghetti. It is not a gourmet cheese by any means, and it's not my favorite Parmesan cheese, but it is one that's affordable and that I can store. I do not store it in this green can that it comes in. It doesn't have a very long shelf life, and it will kind of turn a yellow orange on you when it gets old, and it doesn't taste good because the oil in the cheese goes rancid. So what I do when I come home, I'll buy several of these at one time, and then I'll get out my vacuum sealer and I'll pour the whole can into this little bag and seal it up, and you can see it's just as hard as it can be, but when I unseal it, it just goes right back to the regular grated cheese. And you can even wash out and save this can and put it right back in there if you want to. But all my Parmesan cheese is vacuum sealed. I don't store any of it in the bottle. Okay? That's Parmesan cheese. I also store canned processed cheese. Now, there's two things that I store that are called processed cheese. This is one. This is just a generic brand, but it's very similar to Velveeta. This is what it's like. And it's really a processed cheese food, or cheese spread is what they call it. It does taste cheesy, but it's certainly not a cheddar cheese or a gourmet cheese, although the Aldi brand, which is this one, the first ingredient, I believe that's correct if I'm remembering correctly. Let me just double check myself here. No, the first ingredient is American cheese. Yeah, so it's American cheese. It's very similar to the cheese slices, the American cheese slices you get, except it's just a big old chunk. Now, I would never make a grilled cheese sandwich out of this, and I would never just sit down and eat a piece of this because I don't like it like that. But when you melt it into a casserole, like broccoli, chicken, and rice casserole or something like that, or you melt it into a cheese soup, it does have a delicious, smooth, cheesy flavor, and I don't find that offensive at all. So I like it melted in casseroles and soups, and it's just fine. And I usually add some cheddar to it just to kick up the flavor a bit. But this is a good thing to have, and it has a good shelf life on it. There's just a piece of my wax cheese, and you can refer to my video to see how to do that. But here's another processed cheese food. Now this is the one I was thinking of. Hold on, let me check the ingredients on that for you, because I believe the first ingredient in that, oh, the writing's so small I can hardly see it. Yes, the first ingredient on this canned cheese that's made by Red Feather is cheddar cheese. So it has a little more kick than just this American cheese here. And how you use this is you use your can opener, you open one side all the way but leave it on, and then you open the other side and take that off, and then you can push your finger here down on the hard lid and push it straight through, and it comes out a perfect little round, and it's good on crackers, and it'll make grilled cheese. I bought a whole case of it. It's fairly expensive. I think I paid I'm not real sure, but I think it was close to $100 for a case of it. It has an extremely long shelf life, so that's an option for you. I also like the Honeyville Farm powdered cheese sauce, which the main ingredient is cheddar cheese and Swiss cheese. It's delicious. They also have an excellent freeze-dried cheese. You can get mozzarella or cheddar, I believe. It's a great product. And I will post the link for Honeyville Farms below. If you've watched many of my videos, you know I really like that company. They have a flat rate shipping of $4.95, and it doesn't matter how much you buy, whether you buy $10 or you buy $1,000. Flat rate, $4.95, as much as you want. I really like that. Now, let's get to some questions. A couple of people have asked me, this is a piece of my cheese that the wax has been taken off. A couple of people have asked, when you air dry your cheese for a couple of days, do the edges get hard and you have to cut them off? The answer to that is no. You grate that cheese and nothing has to be cut away. In fact, I'm going to demonstrate how this cheese looks grated in just a second, but I want to draw your attention to this little dish right here. Refrigerating cheese is a fairly new thing. Back in the 20s and 30s, when you would go, and even before, when you would go to the general store to purchase your supplies, your cheese and crackers, the cheese would be sitting on a barrel top very often, and it would be a big wheel of cheese, and the butcher or storekeeper would just cut off the piece that you want and wrap it up in brown paper, and that's how you'd bring it home, and then it would sit under a glass like this or left in that paper on the counter, and that's how people ate their cheese. I got the idea that I probably could go back to that without having to refrigerate my cheese all the time. When I unwax it, I just put it under this glass cheese board. Here's the board down here, and this is glass up here. And I found this at a flea market. I think I paid $1 for it, if I remember right. Came home, it was in perfect condition. I just washed it up, cleaned it up, and began to use it. So when I unwax cheese, I just put it right under here and leave it until it's all gone. Cheese is a living thing, and it likes to breathe and doesn't like to be wrapped up. If you are having problem with cheese going moldy in your refrigerator, you're probably wrapping it too tight in plastic wrap or sealing it too tightly in a sandwich bag. If you'll just loosen up a little bit, you'll keep mold from growing on your cheese. I'm going to pass off the camera to Prepper A here and let her hold it while I grate that for you so you can see exactly what it looks like. Some people are really hesitant that it might not grate like traditional cheese, but it's just perfect. Can you see that going through there? In fact, it goes so quickly, and that's what's nice about having it at room temperature. It's not hard to grate at all. And I'll leave that last little piece so I don't. Oh, I got it through. There we go. Just as easy, and it's just exactly like the cheese you would be grating from the store, except it tastes so much better. So I will take that camera back, and I'm going to answer a couple more questions. What are you? Gotta watch them every minute. That little mouse. Look at her trying to get in there and get some cheese. Okay, here's a couple of questions. Oh, and one of the questions was, do you have problems with mice getting your cheese? I don't have any problem. I wax it, which covers it up, and then I put it in that wax paper lined shoebox like you saw, and I've never had a bit of a problem. I'm hoping, if you're a real prepper, that you're storing mouse traps and rat traps. Even if you've never seen a rat, you need to store rat traps, and I'll tell you why in another video. Okay, another couple of questions. Can you only wax the size cheese that we saw you wax? No, you can wax as big a piece of cheese as you can handle. Just realize that the bigger the piece of cheese you try to wax, the deeper your wax has to be. So I found that this was easy because I can, if I dip half of it, then my wax only has to be this deep. and then I turn it again. Now, it would be easy to do double this size and do the full 8-ounce bar, and then you would just dip half this way and then turn it and dip it the other way. So certainly you can do as big a piece as you want, and if you want to do a really big piece, you can use the brush like I showed in the cheese waxing video and just simply brush your wax on. So that's up to you. Somebody asked about the vinegar. Was the vinegar to age the cheese? No, the vinegar had nothing to do with aging the cheese. It was merely to keep mold from growing on the surface of the cheese. It doesn't change the taste of it, and it doesn't hasten the aging process. It's merely to inhibit mold growth. All right, I can't really think of any other questions that need to be answered at this time. I encourage you to store a variety of cheeses. They will add flavor to your diet, and I think if you don't have cheese in your food storage and you're a cheese lover, it's something you will really miss. If you have any questions, send me a PM or leave your question in the comment section, and I'll get back to you as soon as you can. Be sure and go check out Bear Prepper's video on canning cheese that she posted today. Take care. Katzcradul. I knew there was something I was forgetting to share with you. This is the last point I wanted to make. This is the cover of the New England Cheesemaking Supply Company catalog. It's just a little paper catalog, and I just stapled on here my cheese wax information because I want to remember that I need to get my cheese to 210 before I begin waxing. So I just keep that on there. Any information like this, always 3-hole punch, and I keep in a notebook with all my prepping supply information. It's just a good thing to keep all that stuff together. But here's what I wanted to share with you. Not only do I buy my cheese wax from them, I buy beeswax for them as well for making salves, but they have 2 other products I really like, and it kind of goes along with cheese making. That's why I'm adding it here. I buy a Buttermilk Culture from them. It comes in a little packet that looks almost like a little sweet and low packet that they would keep on a table at the restaurant. 5 packets are $5.95, and that will turn your skim milk or whole milk or 2% milk into buttermilk. So I like to keep those, and I also keep packets of their yogurt culture. You get 5 for $5.95. Now, typically when you make yogurt, you would just use plain yogurt from the grocery store, a couple of tablespoons of that to culture your homemade yogurt. But suppose you can't go to the grocery store anymore to buy yogurt and you want to make yogurt. Well, you would need yogurt culture. And 1 packet of yogurt culture, you can make that yogurt, and then you can save a little of that, and that becomes the culture for your next batch of yogurt up to 10 times. So if you buy 5 packets of this yogurt culture, you're really getting 50 batches of yogurt out of that. Buttermilk will do the same. It will culture from a sample that you save from the batch you make and save it to culture the next batch. Now, these little packets are little tiny. I can get 10 of the buttermilk and 10 of the yogurt in a little sandwich bag and throw them in the freezer. That is worth having so that you can make buttermilk or yogurt if you like those things. So go check out New England Cheesemaking Company. They'll send you their little catalog for free. It's a great company to do business with. They've got a quick turnaround when you make an order. And that was the thing I had forgotten to tell you. Katzcradul.